All right, back for another beer review, and today I will once again be reviewing another beer from the Other Half Brewing Company, and they're out of both Brooklyn and Rochester, New York, and this is their Mash Tun Time Machine. So the label is calling this a West Coast Imperial India Pale Ale. Comes in at 8% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed at the time of review. This can is approximately 4.5 weeks old. So when it comes to Other Half, I can't think off the top of my head a West Coast-style hop-forward beer that they've ever done. So the fact that I'm trying this is pretty cool because Other Half's known for their hazies, their New England-style IPAs, their fruited sours, their adjunct-laden imperial stouts. They've been releasing some lagers lately, like they do their Crickets Pilsner and their Tumbleweeds Hellas Lager. But for the most part, a West Coast style anything, whether it's an IPA or a double IPA, I don't think I've seen them do one. Maybe they have and I just missed it. But when I saw this one, I was like, I got to give it a go. So yeah, as far as the hops in this one, they're using Citra, Simcoe, and Amarillo. The latter two hops, pretty well known for West Coast style IPAs and double IPAs. Citra, not as much, but nowadays a lot of breweries use Citra. It's very abundant and it's in most IPAs, it seems. But yeah, anyway, Mash Tun Time Machine. I like the label here, going for the whole hot tub time machine and whatnot. I get it. Anyway, let's crack this one open and give it a pour. So, one of the rare Other Half beers that I believe will not be hazy. I guess we'll see, but that's my belief. Oh yeah, look at that. I wouldn't say it's crystal clear, but it's probably as clear as you're going to get from an Other Half IPA just in general. See how this looks over here. Yeah, so, okay, there's like some chill haze and whatnot on it, but it has this really like just straight on orange, like burnt orange color. It looks like a West Coast style IPA, double IPA. There's, like I said, chill haze going on. This has been out of the fridge for about 20-25 minutes, so a little bit cooler. But yeah, about a finger and a half of an off-white, fluffy looking head. But that looks like a new, not a New England style double IPA. Just slow it down, Joe. Looks like a West Coast style double IPA. Anyway, let's get a nose. Definitely getting like caramel malts to this one. It's one thing about when it comes to West Coast for me, I always get that caramel malt profile, definite resinous pine, citrus character, a little bit of dankness. That's what I think when I think West Coast style double IPAs. And it has that. It's a sweeter caramel malt profile. A little bit of resinous pine. This doesn't have as much pine influence as I was expecting. More of a dankness. Has a really sweeter citrus profile. Like I'm getting orange and tangerine and grapefruit. Maybe a touch of like peach apricot thing. Stone fruit. Yeah, it smells good, but it smells just kind of... It smells kind of, I wasn't going to say underwhelming. It just smells like this beer is like 5.5%, 6%. Like the aromas on this one are not screaming. And for an 8% beer, I thought it would be like in my face and just like, oh my God, all the pine, all the citrus, but it's not. It's just mostly caramel malt, touch of pine, touch of citrus, a little bit of dankness, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell anything that's all that amazing. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. This is interesting because, wow. Doing this blind, I would say to me, this is coming off as like a West Coast style pale ale or a borderline IPA. So the first thing I can say is that the body on it is relatively thin. Not super thin, but for 8%, I was expecting like a straight on medium, higher side of medium body. This is like higher side of light, lower side of medium body. It's not excessively thin, but it is thin. And then the mouthfeel, it's a little bit softer and smoother than I anticipated. I thought it'd have more hefty carbonation. So the body and mouthfeel are close to where I think I would want like a West Coast style hop forward beer, but I don't think it approaches double IPA. I think it's a bit too thin, and I don't think it has a decent crispness to it, but I want to see a little bit more, I don't know, just it's a little bit too soft and smooth for what I think the style should be. The taste though, really nice, but here's the thing. It's not, there's no oomph to there. There's no, it's not bombastic. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brew News. It's everything you would expect in a West Coast style double IPA, like flavor wise, but like dialed down 50%. Everything's very light. There's a light caramel malt presence. There's definitely resinous pine. There's citrus. There's more of like a zesty grapefruit, citrus, zesty orange peel type of thing going on. A little bit of that stone fruit I was talking about in the nose, like peach apricot. And then, you know, a decent dankness as well. I do think it finishes a little bit too sweet. Also for me, stylistically, I think I'd want this more of a bitterness here, like a firm bitterness. It has a decent bitterness, but I want a firm, like moderate bitterness, and I think it's a little bit on the low side as well. Here's the thing, I'm digging this. I think it's tasty. It drinks like it's 5.5%, 6%, so they're hiding the alcohol extremely well, like no trace of alcohol whatsoever in this one. But flavor-wise and just intensity-wise to the flavors, I think this drinks more like a West Coast style IPA at about 6%. That would be my guess, or like a pale ale, like 5.5%, 6%. I think they pretty much nailed the flavor profile of a West Coast style beer or West Coast style hop forward beer, but I think a little bit of a letdown on the intensity of flavors. When you're talking 8% double IPA, I want that resinous pine kind of just be not overbearing, but like in your face and smacking you with pine. I want the caramel malt to show a little bit, or the caramel flavoring to the beer from the malt. I want more of that zesty citrus. I just want everything in more abundance. Like I just want more intensity. So like if I was to rate this to style, Other Half's Mash Tun Time Machine 2 style, I would honestly give this like a 3 out of 5. That's like a 2 stylistically. I think it kind of misses the mark from a body perspective and from intensity of flavor for a double IPA. Personal enjoyment, which is what I always rate to, I will give Mash Tun Time Machine from Other Half. I'm going to give that a solid 3.75. I'll go 3.65 out of 5. I dig the flavors here. I do enjoy this beer. I just think like if you told me this was a 6% West Coast IPA, I'd believe you. Like, I'd be like, yeah, for sure. The fact that it's 8% is both good and bad. It's good in that it hides the alcohol, but bad in that I want intense. If I'm drinking 8% beer, I want something that has an intensity to flavors, and this just really doesn't. So personal preference, 3.65 out of 5. Mash Tun Time Machine from Other Half. It's a good beer, for sure. I just think stylistically they missed the mark for me personally. Value on this one, I don't know. I want to say it was $18 a 4-pack or $20 a 4-pack, brewery only, except for the fact that I picked this up at Aurora Brew Works in East Aurora, New York. They did a recent trip to New York City, brought back some beers because you can resell them in New York, and I want to say I paid like just over $5 a can. It might have been like $5.25, $5.50. So I paid, an extra 50 cents to $1, which is fine. When somebody goes and does all the legwork and I don't have to go to the brewery, I'm willing to pay an extra $1 a can. But I think brewery, it's $20 a 4-pack, somewhere in that range. So $5 a can. Is it worth it for this beer? Probably not, based on the fact that it's a double IPA that drinks like a single IPA. I think there's better West Coast style beers out there. And like I said, availability, brewery only, aside from when bottle shops and whatnot bring the beer back from the brewery and resell it. So yeah, anyway, it's a good beer. I enjoy it. I'm gonna drink the rest of it and have no issues, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted a West Coast style double IPA and I got a West Coast style pale ale / IPA. What are you gonna do? It happens. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Till the next one, cheers.